Hello and welcome to today's Bitrix24 webinar Next Level CRM. Thank you for joining today. Okay, so first of all we'll just go through some introductions. Who are we? I'm Sam Connor, one of the sales engineers here at Bitrix24 Gold Partners Interface. We're based in the UK, the US and Hong Kong, so we offer our services to customers around the world to help them with their Bitrix24 systems. And we offer a full range of services, so starting off with pre-sale support, we can discuss your requirements in detail to see if Bitrix24 could be a good fit for your business. If it is, we can then implement the system for you, so we can set up the software to your specific requirements and build any customizations. For the self-hosted edition, we offer our own hosting services, and we can provide you with dedicated ongoing support and training to really help you get the most out of Bitrix24. Okay, so if you're new to Bitrix24, maybe you've come to the Next Level CRM webinar today to get some more information about the system. Well, Bitrix24 is a collaboration suite of well in excess now of 35 different tools that you can use to help you manage your business. And there are over now 10 million customers around the world that use Bitrix24. And specifically today we're going to be focusing on the CRM module, and the Bitrix24 CRM is voted within the top 10 CRM systems globally each year. And the system is available in two different editions. So we have the Bitrix24 Cloud and the Bitrix24 Self-Hosted system. And prices start from $49 per month for a cloud basic package and $2,990 if you're looking at a self-hosted system starting at 50 users. Okay, so today's webinar is Next Level CRM, so we are focusing on the CRM module today. So I think it's important to first of all go through and understand why you should use the Bitrix24 system for your CRM solution. So first of all, there is lots of automation features within the system, so we can automatically communicate with our customers as we're progressing through different stages of our sales process. And this allows you to capture and qualify leads very quickly, so you can see if they're engaging with you, and we can use triggers to automatically update the stages of your leads and deals to automate your sales process. And a really key feature is you can customize that sales process. So we'll see how we can configure the stages for our leads and deals, so you can walk your way through your sales process within the CRM. So it's a very customizable CRM solution. There are lots of integrations with different tools such as your email system. You can even integrate telephony into the software. So this allows you to build a 360-degree picture of really all of the activity that you have with your customers. And we'll later on in today's demonstration and webinar we'll go through and look at the different integrations within the contact database. We can also monitor your team's effectiveness, so we can look at reports and analyze how well our sales team are performing, and we can set targets for our team so we can quickly visualize and see how well our team are working to close their deals. And we'll see how we can also forecast sales and see detailed reports within the system. And today's webinar is going to be broken down into several different topics. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the different tools that we can use to generate leads inside the system. Then we'll go through an actual overview of the CRM. So we'll have a look in each of the different entities of the CRM system. Then we'll do a case study so we can actually see how it looks to manage a new lead and then progress into a deal and close with an invoice. And then we'll have a look at the different reporting tools that are available in the CRM system. Okay, so first of all, in today's webinar, we're going to have a look at the different ways we can generate leads in Bitrix24. And there are lots of different ways that you can generate your leads. So first of all, you can import your leads. So we are able to, through a CSV, bulk upload leads into your system, and then you can assign those to the relevant and responsible person. There is also a live chat tool, so this is available within the contact center tools of the CRM, so you can integrate your own live chat system onto your websites, and this then allows you to communicate with your potential Okay. Okay, yeah, so we got the sound back there, sorry about that. So the sites module will allow you to build your very own landing pages directly on the Bitrix24 system. So this could be really useful, say if you're going to create your own marketing campaign inside the software. So it could be you want to have maybe a seasonal campaign, such as we've got Black Friday coming up. So what you could do here is you could create your own sites on the Bitrix24 system, and you could then channel your potential customers to those pages. So for example here, if we go back into our pages here, we've got a landing page. So what we can do here is we could build a site. So we've got here a competition, so you can enter to win some free cake in the system. And as you're doing this here, we've got different channels we've set up, so we can submit some information on a form. And what we could also do is set up a live chat feature here. So again, we could communicate with our potential new customers directly through these integrations. And this site was built on Bitrix, so you can build really, professional looking sites directly in your Bitrix system. And another tool that we can use as well is actually creating CRM forms. So this is another very popular tool that you can create. So within the CRM system, what we have is our very own CRM form designer tool. So this allows you to build your very own forms from scratch inside the system. So inside here, if we just go into one of our forms, then we can open up our form designer. So what we first do is we create all of the fields inside the Bitrix system in the CRM that we want to populate, and we can then select those fields from the side here and add those to our form. So we can see now we've added the date of birth field. And once you've entered all of your different fields that you want to use, we can then choose which part of the CRM system we want to create a new entity. So here, for example, we're going to create a brand new lead inside the CRM system. And we can see a form here, for example, so that has been created on here. Or you can also, with every form you create, you get an embedding code. So you can embed this form onto maybe a particular web page or website that you have already created inside the system. Okay, so that's just a selection of the different tools that you can use to integrate your leads into the system. There are lots of other tools as well. So for example, we can integrate WhatsApp into the system for you. So that's an integration we can manage for you. And then when people message you on WhatsApp, that information can automatically feed into your CRM system. Very similar to using the live chat tool. And we could automatically have a new lead created in the system from our WhatsApp integration. Okay, so that's a look there at the different tools we can use to generate leads inside the system. Now we're going to move on to actually have a look at the actual CRM module. So we're going to see here how we can actually break through all the different entities of the CRM system. And then later on we'll go through a case study so we can see how we can progress a lead into a closed sales opportunity. If you do have any questions as we go through, please do add them into the question box on YouTube, and we can go through those for you during the intervals of today's CRM webinar. Okay, so moving on now to look at the CRM module in some more detail. We're going to have a look at all the different entities, including leads and deals, companies and contacts, and we'll look at the quotes and invoicing sections as well. Okay, so we've just entered the Bitrix24 CRM module. So across the top here, you can see the different entities that we have on the system. So first of all, we have leads, then we have deals, contacts, companies, quotes, and invoices. Now, each business will have a different sales process. That's kind of a standard outline here. So what you can do is you can customize how the CRM works for you. So here we are using the classic CRM mode. So this is where we convert a lead into a deal and a contact. But it could be actually, maybe for small businesses, every inbound email or call or request would actually be a genuine opportunity. So you can turn to the simple CRM, and that removes the leads feature altogether for you. So you could just have every single inquiry generate a new deal in the Okay, so I think the sound's back there. Sorry about that. Okay, so the automation inside here, we have the lead page. So with this lead page, you can store all of the details about your lead on the left-hand side. And in here, you can create your own custom fields. So you can capture as much information about the lead as you require. So for example, maybe we want to add a file field in the system, for example. And we can also add other sections as well. So this left-hand side, you can really customize to store as much or as little information as you require. And then on the right-hand side, you've got the activity stream. So this is where those integrations really come into play. So if you've integrated your email, for example, or if you've integrated telephony, all of those communications are then fed in this right-hand page. So for example, we can see an email that has been sent to the customer, and we can see who is responsible for any of that activity. We can also then see any planned activity. So here, for example, we can see a task that's been scheduled associated to this lead, so that's been assigned to somebody. And you can also add notes into here. You can attach files and documents. So everything about this lead you can store in this page itself. And you also have a filtering tool. So maybe you want to filter down into maybe some of the comments that have been made or notes. So you can drill down into all of that specific detail very easily. And at the top here, we can then create our own items and activities. So for example, I might create a task for somebody in the system here. I could send an email to the lead manually. So if you've integrated your emails, you can then send all of your emails through here. And that's a two-way integration on your emails. And we also have automation rules, and this is a really powerful area of Bitrix. So we'll see this when we go through a case study. But what you have here is you can send out automated communications to your customer, or you can also create activity for your responsible people inside your Bitrix system. And that can be done at each stage of the lead here. So for example, as soon as the lead comes in at the new lead stage, what we have set up here is an automated email that is going to be sent out to this lead. So it's dynamically populated, so we can personalize this, and we've then added our own templates and details into here, and that's going to be sent out straight away. But you could also customize this and maybe say it's going to be going sent out in 5 hours once the lead has come in at that new lead stage. So you can customize exactly when these automations are run. So that's an email to the customer. You could also maybe send out an SMS message. Okay. So inside the lead database here, then we can progress our lead through those different stages. And once we've done that, we can then convert the lead into a different entity inside the system. So what you could do, if that lead has been qualified, we could then, for example, create a deal in the system. And a deal is where you would start to close that sales opportunity. And what we could also do is create a contact. So we could save them as a customer record in the CRM system. Now, if you're going to create a deal, we can then move that deal into a specific pipeline. So here we basically can segment that sales opportunity. So inside here, we could select maybe a pipeline based on geographical location, or it could be based on the different products or services that you offer. And based on the actual type of license you have, there are different limitations as to how many pipelines you can create in the system. So from there, we could then create a deal and a contact. So here you have your contact database where you can store a record of all of your customers. And inside each contact page, you can then see all of the details about your contacts. And you can associate a contact to companies. And that can be associated to multiple companies in the CRM system. And then on the right hand side, you've got that activity log again. So if you've integrated emails, you can see all of the email communications. We'll see all of the notes and comments and any planned activity. If you've integrated telephony, we can also receive those telephone calls. So you can see those call recordings in the system. And within here, we can then also link all of the different opportunities that the customer is associated. And we see there how we can connect deals to our contacts and our companies. So here in deals, this is where you really close your sales opportunities, and we can segment those sales into a specific pipeline, and within each pipeline you can then create your own stages that you progress the deal through. And this Kanban display is really useful because we can then see what value we have at each stage of the sales process. So this is really useful for forecasting our future sales. So I can currently see we've got 12,500 where the quote is with the clients. So hopefully we're going to start moving more and more of that value to our invoice section of our pipeline in the near future. And just like with leads, what you can do is we can set up all of our own automation rules inside the system. So here in each pipeline you can create your own stages, and you can create your own automation rules that you can use to progress and automate your sales cycle. So we're currently in the UK pipeline, whereas if we go to our USA pipeline, then the stages and the automation rules are completely different. And if we go into one of our deals, within the deals section, what we can do is we can select products. So inside here you have a product catalog. So this is where you can store all of the information about the products and services that you sell. And when we have that information in here, what you can then do is you can create quotes and invoices. So we can create financial documents that are then linked with your deals. So I can go into here, we have a document generator, so I can then create my own documents inside the CRM system. Okay, so we can see there it's populated this document with the product information that we have associated to the deal. And in here you can add your own kind of templated information, and we can then map across any details from the CRM system to generate you those documents. And you can see here the different stages that you can progress your quotes through, and again you can set up automation rules directly on the quote. So this is quite useful. Say if we are at the waiting on client stage, then we may have an automation set up. So in 2 days time, if we're still at this stage with the quote, then we're going to be sent a reminder to get back in touch with the customer to see if they're still interested. And once you've generated the quotes, we can then convert that into an invoice in the system. And we've got our own quote and invoice databases here. So all of that detail and information you can then see across all of those different quotes and invoices. So this database will pull through all of those invoices, and I can easily search through any of this information, for example, in the system. So let's say I'm looking for all of those invoices that are worth more than 5,000, and that will then filter through all of that data for you very easily in your invoices. One last thing to mention as well, we've seen how we can create activity in the system, so such as tasks or calls. All of your activity is saved in your activity section, and you also have a calendar in Bitrix24. So in here, all of your tasks and activities will be synchronized into your calendar inside the system. Okay, so that's a look there at the different entities of the CRM system. If there are any questions, please do add them into the question box on YouTube and we can run through those for you. I understand there may have been one or two difficulties there with the microphone, so apologies for that. Hopefully you're all able to hear me right now. Okay, so we've just had a question, is there a limit to the number of pipelines that you can create? It does depend on which tier of license that you have. So if you've got a self-hosted edition of the Bitrix24 system, you can create an unlimited number of pipelines. If you're on one of the cloud packages, then the professional comes with unlimited pipelines. The standard, you're started to get restricted. So I think we can have up to 10 pipelines on the standard and so on. So do check based on what edition of Bitrix24 you have. This will then decide how many pipelines you can store in the system. Okay, another question, where do we set permissions in the CRM? So that's a really good question. It's important that you do set up permissions correctly in the CRM. So in the settings section here, we have a permissions area. And within this section here, the way the permissions works on the CRM is you assign a role to each user. And based on that role, you can then set up your permission structure. So for example, if I wanted to deny all access to the contacts, I could say access is denied, for example. So you can set your permissions directly in the CRM here. Okay, so now let's go through a case study. So we've seen how we can manage our leads in the system and convert those leads into different entities. But let's now actually go through a live example to see how this can work. So we're going to use a web form to manage this inside the system. So as we mentioned earlier on, how you can set up your own different tools such as web forms for managing your new leads in the system. So this form could be embedded onto your website, and what I can then do is I could submit my details. So I'm going to submit that in the system here. Okay, and we can see now we've been notified a new sales inquiry has come in. So let's go into our lead database. So we can see now 9 seconds ago that has created a brand new lead in the CRM system. So I can now start working on this. So you can see here it's brought through all of the information about the lead in the system. And we could use automation here to actually automatically update the actual name of the lead in the system. Okay, so I'm just going to update that information. And you can see with the automation, it's automatically now sent out an email to that lead in the system. So we can see the automation's working there. And let's say I'm going to schedule a call with them to follow up and see how we can help them with their inquiry. So I'm going to choose a date here. And I'm going to add a description. Okay, so I'm going to save that now inside here. And once you've done this, maybe you want to add some notes. So I'm going to add some notes that they would like some training. So I'm going to save that now in the system. I'm going to progress through to arrange a meeting with them. That's now automatically created a task in the system. So I can go into that task and I can see the details here. So I need to discuss the requirements and record the time here. So I'm going to start recording my time on that task. So I understand they want to have training inside the system. So actually I could go into our product area and I could go into here and maybe select from some of our different products inside the system, for example. So you can set up your own different services here, or you can also just add products manually in the system. Okay, so I'm going to add that into here. So I'm going to save that product information. Okay, so I've done that and I understand what they're looking for. So we can progress this through. I'm going to go back into here. I'm going to check back in with them and I'm going to just send them an email as well to confirm. Okay, so I'm just going to type out an email. Okay, so I'm going to send that out to Max. And then from inside here, what we can then do is I'm going to convert this and complete the lead. And let's generate a deal and a contact. And from here, I can also select what pipeline I would like to segment that into. Okay, and so from there I can now start to work on the deal opportunity. Okay, so we can see now it's created the new entities in the system. So it's created the contacts. So I can click on our contact and it has created that entity in the system. And it has linked the deal into the contacts page here. Now from here, we've got an outbound call scheduled. So I can plan that activity inside the system. So I'm going to say that I've completed that call. We're going to build the proposal and send out the quote. So we've got the product information. So from here I can now generate a quote in the system. Okay, so we've got our stages here. So I can generate my document from our system. So if you have any questions about how you can generate your own documents using the template tool, then please do get in contact and we can see how we can help you. From here I can then send this out to the customer via an email. Okay, so I'm going to send that out with the quote, and the quote has been linked in the system. So I'm going to say we're waiting on the client now to approve that quote. And all of this information is then linked back to the deal. So we can see all of this information, the email with the quote is currently in progress, and we're waiting on the client. So maybe I've scheduled another call with them, and I'm going to make some notes. And now we're going to go to say, actually, Max has got back in touch and the quote has been approved. So from there, what we can do is we can move the quote up to the quote approve stage, and we can then generate an invoice of that quote. Okay, so there we've got the quotes, it's been approved, and let's mark that as completed. And then all of that history is now saved inside the deal. So inside here, we can maybe add a renewal date. So let's say it's going to be the end of this month if they want more training. And all of that history for the quote and the invoice has been linked back to the customer. So if we click on the contacts page, all of their history, it's saved in their contact page here. So the deal has been approved here. The quotes and the invoice is all saved inside the system. Okay, so that is a look through there how we could use some of the lead generation tools, such as a website form, and from that form we can then progress the lead through different stages using the automation rules, and then converting that into a deal where we can generate different financial documents such as quotes and invoices, and everything can be linked back to your contact directly inside the system. But really that's not the last point in terms of the CRM. It's important to now start to look at the different reporting tools that are available in the system. Okay, so here within the Bitrix CRM system, there are lots of different tools that you can use for analyzing all of the data from your CRM system. So here you can see a selection from filters in leads and deals to exporting data out of the CRM. We can use the Kanban display. There's also activities in leads and deals, and we'll have a look at the CRM analytics dashboard as well. Okay, so really the first way to actually start evaluating your data in the system is using this list view. So in your leads and deals, this view is really useful because one, it's customizable, so we can move information around inside here, and really can use the power of the filters here. So you can drill down into any of the data within your leads to help you start to build out a report. So here maybe I want to look at all of the leads at these specific stages. So I can drill down into that data. And from here I could actually export this information out of Bitrix. So in either the lead or deal list view, you can really interpret the data how you need and then pull it out of the system. And then you've also got the Kanban view. And this is really useful, I would say, especially in deals, because in here we can then forecast our sales. So as we progress a deal through different stages, the value automatically updates inside the system. So inside here, what that allows you to do is really forecast how close you are to those different sales closing in each pipeline. And we could then also use automation rules, maybe to update the customer if we're still at this stage in a certain amount of time, for example. So this is really useful for forecasting your sales. We also have the Report Wizard tool. Now, what this tool allows you to do is it allows you to build your very own reports really from scratch. So first of all, here you can choose which area of Bitrix you want to report on. And then you can start to flesh out the report. So we can give the report a name and a description. And then down here we can choose the reporting period. So it could be a date range, for example. And then from here what we can do is we can set up all of the different fields that you would like to display in your report. And once you've done that, you can then create a filter, for example, or you could also set up a chart to give it more of a graphical display. And then you can create the report, and that report can just be for yourself, or it could be you want to make it accessible to other people within the system, so you can also share that report through here. So that's a report wizard, allows you to build your own reports from scratch. There's also the CRM Analytics module, and this basically builds you dashboards of information based on the data within your CRM system. So for example, here we're in our lead analysis page. So inside here we can see all of the leads based on different filters again, so you can create your own filters to drill down into this data. And here we can see how each user has converted, how many leads they've converted in the system, so we can see their conversion rates. It could be, for example, you might want to set up sales targets, so we can see how well our team are tracking to their targets inside the system. We can also build our own dashboard areas. So here, for example, you might want to build your own dashboards for different pipelines in the system. So here we can see, based on our UK pipeline, how well we're progressing our deals and opportunities. And then you can also build your own dashboards in the system as well. Now if we go into the contact center, so we mentioned about some of the different channels we can set up, such as live chat, website forms, etc. There are also statistics on that data in here as well. So we can see, for example, how many different sessions there have been on the live chat. We can see the average reply time, what the satisfaction rate is, even down to actually seeing how busy we are at different time periods. So we can see maybe when we need to have more people in on the contact center, being able to manage customer responses here. So this gives you a good flavor of where you need to be staffing your business. Okay, so that's a look at some of the reporting tools inside the system. Please do add any questions into the question box and we can run through those for you before the end of today's webinar. Okay, so another question is through there. So can I set up more than one live chat widget within the Bitrix system? So yes, you can, absolutely. So if we go back into the contact center, then what you can do on here, each different tool you set up uses what we call an open channel. So if you wanted to set up another live chat, you could just create a new open channel here and embed that new live chat onto whichever website it is you want to run that live chat through. So that's how we can then manage that through this interface. You can create a new open channel. But once again, depending on what license you have, there could be limitations as to how many different open channels you can set up at any one time. Okay, so it doesn't look to be any more questions. Just moving on then to look at some of the differences between the cloud and the self-hosted. So both of these additions, they include leads, deals, invoicing and reporting tools, and both include the custom record layouts, so you can create your own sections in the system. Okay, so question now, what is the difference between live chat and website widget with chat? I'm not sure where you're getting the website widget with chat from, but they are the same thing. So you can set up your own live chats from the system. So if we go into the CRM and you have your own website widget section, and this is where it allows you to kind of create and customize your different tools. So here we have a live chat. We've got the embedding code here, so you can then embed that onto your website, for example, and that then connects the live chat system into Bitrix24. So if we go back onto one of our live chats here, for example, then that will be fed straight back into our Bitrix system here. So I can see that chat has come through here, and I can then respond to it through here. So that's the interface for live chat. You embed the chat onto your website, and people can then communicate with you through your website. Okay, so just moving back to the cloud v self-hosted. So both include the automation rules. So we're seeing in CRM the automations. The key difference really is the self-hosted, you can customize this to a greater really identity. So we can integrate it with other systems and create more advanced processes. So if I just go back into the CRM, one thing we do for quite a few of our self-hosted customers is they like to rename the terminology here. So for example, maybe deals, you might want to call jobs, for example. So with the on-premise system, you have that level of customization capability. So if you're wanting to maybe rename things, if you're wanting to remove features, with the on-premise system, we have that capability. Okay, so in summary today, we've seen how we can use lots of different tools to generate leads inside the CRM system, starting from CRM marketing through to live chat systems and website forms. And we've seen how we can use automation in leads and deals to really help to automate the sales process and streamline activity, either with the customer or creating activity for our sales team. And we can communicate through multi-channels such as email, telephony, live chat, even on WhatsApp as an example. And this helps to then give you a 360-degree view of all of the activity and communication that has taken place with your customers. And then we've also seen the different types of forecasting and advanced reporting tools. And I think the key thing around reporting is there is no one single area in the Bitrix CRM system for reporting. Reporting can be managed in lots of different places depending on exactly what type of report you're looking to achieve. Okay, so coming soon, here are a selection of the up and coming webinars. So we're here at 11 AM Eastern Time every Tuesday. If you want to register for those webinars, please do register at interface.com/webinars. And if you have any questions before next Tuesday, please do email sales@interface.com and we'll be happy to set up a meeting with you to discuss your inquiry in more detail. Thank you for joining today's Next Level CRM webinar. I hope you found that useful, and I look forward to joining you next week on the next Bitrix